Good afternoon, pipe smokers. It's Sunday, mid-afternoon. Excuse me. And here in the UK, it's typically autumnal. It's drizzling with rain. It's grey. I'm about to put the lights on, and it's right at 3 o'clock. So, hey. Housekeeping. I'm smoking. The lighting, actually it's better with the light on, it picks up. Chapuica Mai Chacon Robusto. I think it's a 237. I've had this for a long time. This goes back to when I first started smoking and travelling around Belgium and the capstan and all that stuff. This is one of the ones I bought along with a butcher shop can. So this is 12 years old. Well, I've had it 12 years anyway. An idiot, I'm smoking the wonderful Gauth and Hogarth's Best Brown. Now, I know from the title of the video I should be smoking an aromatic, but forgive me, over the last 2 weeks, is it, since I did the last video? I should have had a look at the date. I have smoked, well, I think it's 20 different samples of aromatic, so at 5 gram samples each, that's what, quarter of a pound aromatics. And yeah, during all that time the temptation to go back and have a just a straight Virginia, a nice rich tasty one, was almost overwhelming, but I resisted. But now the quest is over as far as I'm concerned for aromatics, and I want just to give you a little update on it. In my eagerness, I haven't let this dry out properly, so it's a little bit wet. So right, when I'm done, I know there's still plenty more aromatics I can try. After my last video I did buy another 10 samples from Smoke King, or Greens of Leeds as I'm always going to call them, I expect, thinking that was sufficient. And some of those were actually based on comments people had left to me on my last video saying, oh, you ought to try this one. So never let it be said I don't heed what you say, and I can't remember the names of the guys who did suggest it, so if you know you did, I apologise, and I listened to you and I've tried it with some surprising results, I have to say. So let's get this over as quickly as possible. Again, I don't want to sit here waving packets in front of you, but I've said I wanted to get 2 aromatics I can turn to when the need arises, and I get the craving for one, as I do every now and then, which is not going to be often. So it's going to have to be one that keeps quite well. And I think this is one of the issues perhaps originally why I had with aromatics, that, again, please comment, because I don't know about aromatics at all, as I've quite openly said. My understanding is that with the Black Cavendish on there, they're not ones that store well. I mean, they lose the sweetness and the flavour. I've certainly had one example of that where I did a mixture of some Rattray's Bagpiper's Dream, which is very aromatic, very sweet. But having tried some of these, I now on reflection think it's not a bad one at all. But I mixed it with some Stockaby's Balkan Supreme or something like that, I can't remember what it's called, to make a kind of simple Highland mix. And I went back to that a few weeks, just going back a few months, and I went back to it after 3 or 4 weeks, and I noticed that sweetness had gone, and I was getting a lot of Latakia dominating the thing. So I assumed that the aromas from the Cavendishes that were in there, or the sweet, well, it must have been the Cavendishes in there, had kind of dissipated a bit, and it wasn't a good mixture. So I don't know this one. So let's do this in reverse order. I'll leave the ones I've chosen at the end, and I've actually narrowed it down to 6, which is still too much for me. So I've got a little further. It's a short list, let's call it that, and I need to get a couple out of it. I think I've got them in mind, but you know, I'm going to dwell on that a little bit more. But I didn't want to leave it too long before I did this video. I was going to do this in 3 parts, you know, then update and then the final verdict, but I thought that would have just been too much, really. So the ones I've kind of rejected as not being on my rotation, I'm not going to go from like 20 down up to 1. That'll just be far too dull. So I'm going to whisk through them really, because I want to concentrate a little bit more on the ones I have chosen. But what I did want to say, excuse me, but I'm not long eaten. Cloudy lemonade, lovely. Now some of these have gone from just, or the ones I rejected have gone from, oh, definitely not, to, I'm not really sure. So I'm still wavering on a couple of the ones on here. The 6 I've chosen were definites, and were very easy. And I didn't want any more than that. So anyway, now I've got 2 here. So as you can see, these are ones I did show before. Both of them Ashtons. One of the criteria I'd had, I remember these are all objective. Sorry, the subjective opinions on these. I need to get that up front, and I hope I never need to say that. This is my opinion on these. I wasn't comparing them against any other tobaccos I like. I was comparing them purely within the range of aromatics that I had. And for those of you who watched my previous video, sorry, I've got a bit of man flu coming on. Well, I started with the Peterson's Connoisseur's Choice, and quite like that. I'd given that a kind of mental score, and I was going to compare everything against that. That didn't quite work out, and I thought that was a bit of a scientific way of doing it. So I've just been smoking and thinking, could I smoke this again? Could I smoke it fairly regularly? I know it's a nice simple test. These 2, no, I couldn't even finish them. What I wanted was the aromatic, yes, but I wanted a good solid base of a nice Virginia, so a good solid, not necessarily rich, overwhelming, but to have that as a basis. This is not the aromatic flavours, and these are just, I can't remember what they are now. I should have made notes, but the sites describe them as, you know, fruity, and they list various fruits that's going to come out, mixed with a bit of vanilla, mixed with a bit of caramel. I don't know what they are, but that was very faint, and yet there was nothing substantial beneath that. So the Virginias on here are what I would call cigarette Virginias. Now again, there's probably guys out there who love this stuff. I'm sorry, I do not like these at all. Simple rejection on that one. The rest of them I have actually finished. So Peterson's Deluxe Mixture, yeah, not too bad as well. Not entirely different from the Connoisseur's Choice, which I have got in my top 6, but you know, not bad at all. So that one goes to the side. Davidoff Danish Mixture, nothing special there, but it's expensive. You're paying for the name on that one, and certainly not substantial enough for me to actually put that in the list. Particularly, it's always going to cost me a bit more money. McBaron Cube. Now again, I had some comments where guys were saying I'm really enjoying this McBaron Cube at the moment, so I thought, well, okay. This is one of the second batch I bought, I think, the samples. I'm just getting a lot of burley coming out of that one. I know there's burley in there. So now I bought 3 American Tobacco Century ones, which I know, I think are relatively new, from early this year or late last year. I don't know. Is it? No, is it? Oh, I can't remember what the other one is actually. So, but there were 3, and they were the Golden Honey, the Buttered Rum, and the Colombian Coffee. Yeah, they all smell as they are described, which puts me on my guard a little bit, because I think that they're not going to taste the way they're described. This is always the way with tobaccos, but yeah, they did. That was kind of buttered rum, that was kind of golden honey, certainly taste the smelt of it and taste of it, and the Colombian Coffee, yeah, to start off with. But once you got halfway down, that flavour dissipates, as is the case with so many flavoured or topped aromatics, I understand. But again, there was no substantial Virginias underneath to make these contenders. So not bad, but a bit weak. This was another one. Again, I think I put this on the list really because my 6 are so strong. This is a borderline one, and again, this was a recommendation from somebody. Now I tried this years ago, and I completely forgotten I'd done it. It's Radford Sunday Fantasy. That's what I would call as flake tobacco. It is little tiny little flakes of Virginias. I think there's some white burley in there perhaps, and Cavendish, but all well rounded and well mixed together, and that's actually quite nice. And yeah, that's a borderline one, that one. Peter Stuckaby's Highland, yeah, that's really nice tobacco, but it's a Highland tobacco, not what I would call aromatic, even though it's got Cavendish in it. You know, it's mixed with a little bit of Latakia, Virginias, and I think there's a touch of Perique in there. But again, a good Highland. I do like my Highlands, and I might consider that one if I'm going for a Highland in the future. Savinelli Aroma, I also purchased. I think that was in the second batch as well. Yeah, it's okay. That's all I can say. I stick to smoking their pipes rather than their tobaccos. Another Peter Stokeby one, Kentucky Nougat. Yeah, again, that's a vanilla flavour as well. You know, someone said to me, yeah, don't knock vanilla entirely, give it a try. So I bought a couple and I have tried them with vanilla in. But again, Kentucky. Now, please tell me someone. I mean, Kentucky. I've always assumed it's a kind of derivative of Burley. Now, I can't seem to find anything on the internet which describes it, other than that, you know, obviously it's grown in Kentucky. But am I wrong on that one? Please let me know if I am. But that's the flavour I'm getting. Not quite as strong as Burley, but that kind of not sweet, nutty taste that you get sometimes. It's just that dull, earthy kind of burliness from it. But again, the nougat wasn't outstanding in that one, so ordinary. Again, Davidoff Blue Mixture. Ordinary, that's all I can say. And I bought Sherlock Holmes, as I said in the last one, but completely decided that wasn't an aromatic. So, fair amount of smoking gone on there. So let's bring it down to the 6. And again, these are in no order, and I think I've already made up my mind, and this may be a bias on my part. 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's only 5, I'm sorry. No, that was 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, there's 5. Oh, I beg your pardon. Top 5, fair enough. Again, this was a suggestion from somebody, and it was one of the people that said, don't knock Virginia. Sorry, vanilla. And I had a couple of suggestions on this one, which is quite easy because over the last couple of weeks when I've been ordering the samplings, I have found a new love for the McBarons. The Club Blend, the Roll Cake, certainly. Dark Twist wasn't too bad. And then I bought the Vanilla Cream Flake. And guys, whoever suggested that, you were absolutely right. That is really, really nice. Beautiful Virginias underlying it. I get a kind of a mocha coffee, sweetened coffee with chocolate flavour from this one rather than the vanilla, which pleased me because I don't think I'd like a strong vanilla flavour to these tobaccos. So yeah, pleasantly surprised in the top 5. Said before, Peterson's Connoisseur's Choice. Yeah, that's a nice well-rounded aromatic. Having tried some other ones, a lot of them are just difficult to distinguish between them. That there's no outstanding feature of one of them that would set it apart. But yeah, it's got some good Virginias underneath it. Nice warm flavours, nothing too shrill in that one, so that's gone on the list. Another Peterson's one. Again, I know a lot of people like this one and do rate it. Is the Sunset Breeze, the Amaretto flavour. Amaretto, I'm not going to get that right. But I don't get that, which is pleasantly surprised. I just get Christmas out of this. Very similar to the Gauntly's Christmas Spice one I get. You know, mulled wine with spiced oranges, cinnamon, nutmeg, that kind of thing. I've put it on the list. I don't think I'd smoke this regularly, but I will get a tin of this for Christmas, no doubt. That'd be an excellent Christmas smoke with those flavours going on in it. Okay, I ordered actually 10 grams of this, and I've had a couple of bowls, but Sam Gareth Fire Dance Flake, absolutely lovely. You can't go wrong with Sam Gareth with the Virginias underneath. You know you're going to get something solid, something very tasty in there. And with that, you've just got that subtle fruitiness on top of it. It's not overwhelming. It just kind of floats around your mouth along with that sweet Virginias, and there might be some dark Virginias in there as well. That's, you know, whether that's underlying best brown, I don't know, but that's definitely going to be on the rotation. That's one I have no problem with at all. And lastly, Martin, I hope you're watching this, because this is yours. It's going on my list. I've smoked quite a bit of that now. Your Celebration mixture. What am I getting for this? I'm getting some very good Virginias. Now I'm going to PM you because I want you to divulge your secret. This is a blend Martin sent us, if you don't know, for our 1 year YouTube anniversary, myself and Martin said a little mixture. I cheated on mine and bought one that was ready made, but I believe Martin mixed this himself. I don't know for sure, but that's really, really nice. Similarly, I'm getting kind of a spiced Cavendish from it, but with some really nice Virginias underneath, dark and golden, I think. But I think about 4 or 5 bowls of this. It's really nice, Martin. I disagree with Terry completely, saying it's nondescript, and you know, Pat was just being Pat by saying it's piss, but he's wrong. This is really, really nice. So that's the top 5. I think the other one, the 6th one, I assumed was an aromatic. I might have read it too briefly. Was again Sam Gowith Golden Glow. Beautiful tobacco. I'm not saying that's an aromatic at all, but what that is a very, very nice Virginia, which is best brown but sweeter, I think. So that's going to go on another one on my list, to get a couple of tins of that ready and put into storage for that. So that's it. I'm almost certain, if I was going to, on camera here, I'm going to a pinch. Martin, if you could let me know, I can get this in the future. This would be a contender. I'm going to say that. Well done, man. The Fire Dance Flake, definitely, and then I have to say McBaron's, dare I say it, Vanilla Cream. Yeah, I never thought I'd be saying that, but that is an excellent tobacco for an aromatic. So I suppose, guys, some of you would say, well, you haven't really gone for an out-and-out aromatic, have you? Well, maybe not, but to me these are aromatics. They've got Cavendish in it, they've got a certain sweetness to it, which I'm probably not used to, you know, the kind of tobaccos I smoke. I was so surprised with that one. It's really good. I hope you're pleased with that, Martin. I would have some of that. That's really nice. With Sunset Breeze as Christmas smoke, connoisseur's choice, maybe. So I'll leave it at that. I hope that was interesting. That's the end of the aromatics. I'm going to get back to smoking my Virginias, and every now and then, and I hope they keep. So I'll try and smoke an aromatic once a week, maybe twice a week, really, just to break it up. Because I think it was Paul, Mr. Daggers, said that when I did my first video, after all those aromatics, it will be a joy to get back to Virginia. And you were not wrong, my man, if that was in fact you. I'm going back to my best brown now. Have a little drink. Take care. See you soon.